Come and listen to my story about a man named Jed. A poor mountaineer barely kept his family fed. And then one day he was shooting at some food, and up through the ground come a bubbling crude oil, that is, black gold, Texas tea. Well, the first thing you know, old Jed's a millionaire. The kinfolk said, Jed, move away from there. Said, California is the place you ought to be. So they loaded up the truck and they moved to Beverly Hills, that is, swimming pools, movie stars.
The Beverly Hillbillies.
Well, I hope it's worth ruining my possum pot pie.
Well, Diana Dayton's done got herself engaged.
That ain't even worth the crust. Who's she?
Oh, I met her that day at that fancy girls' school. Look right there in Society Sandy's column.
Well, if that girl can get a husband, anybody can. Ugliest thing I ever did see. Got a beard clear down to her chest.
Well, Granny, you're looking at the wrong picture. That's some actor. This is Diana.
The actor's prettier than she is, even with the beard.
Listen to what Society Sandy says about her. This reporter's ears turned shocking pink to hear Divine Diana Dayton announce her engagement just hours after being presented to society at the biggest coming-out party these baby blues have ever seen.
Well, that's fine, honey. Now, you run along. Now, you'll get a husband, don't you worry.
But I ain't worried.
Of course not, honey. No need to be. I'm worrying enough for the both of us.
We're back.
Oh, good. Jethro, here's the phone number of the newspaper. You call up and get the Society Sandy on the phone and ask her what it takes to give a coming-out party.
Yes, ma'am. A coming-out party?
Or Elly. This Diana gal snared herself a husband right after she give one. She's got a face of sour milk.
Better find out what they put in the punch.
I got Society Sandy's secretary on the phone.
We should have thought of it. The reason Elly ain't got no dates is because nobody in Beverly Hills knows that she's here. She ain't been presented to society.
And that's what a coming-out party's for,
Why, sure. When you want to get rid of an old hound dog, you bring him out where folks can look at him, don't you?
I see your point, but I wouldn't put it just that way.
All I know is that I've tried every love charm in my book to get Elly May a husband. And now we gotta give it the old horse auction approach.
I don't know as I'd put it that way, neither.
Yes, ma'am? Uh-huh. Hand-engraved invitation. Everybody in the blue book. Uh-huh. Is that all?
Yes, that's about it. Have fun and lots of luck. Bye. Oh, Society! Sandy! Feast your baby blues on this.
Yeah.
Elly May Clampett is having a coming-out party.
Elly May Clampett. Let me see. Did I meet her at the Von Clippington tea dance?
Oh, Sandy, I'm putting you on. It was a hillbilly. You should have heard the questions. At a coming-out party, does the folks have to stay out, or can they come back inside and set a spell?
Clampett. Clampett. I know I've heard that name before. Get me research on the horn.
Oh.
Next, you got to invite the 400. They's in the blue book.
We'll get one of them books.
Yeah. And then you got to have party victuals fixed by a world's famous chef.
Mm-hmm. I already figured on doing the cooking.
And then you got to have music for dancing.
Well, I'll get out my guitar and Jethro and his spoon.
Yeah.
This is Elly's big chance. We gotta do everything big. Everything first rate.
You're right. We got to hire us a high-class outfit.
This calls for nothing less than Luther Gooch and his Ozark Jug Band.
You reckon they'd come?
Oh, Oh, it's gonna cost Jed a pretty penny. But as long as we've gone this far, what's another $10 or $20?
Okay, thanks. No, that's all I need to know. Wow. What a scoop. Elly May's father, J.D. Clampett, has 68 million simoleons.
Oh, they're in the simoleon business.
That means money, honey. They're oil rich. Get them on the phone.
But they're not in the social register.
Who cares? With that kind of loot in a cash register, this could be the coming out party of the year.
Okay, if you say so.
Look, I know a hot story when I see one. Don't forget, before I took over this desk, I was 22 years as fashion editor.
Well, it's all settled. Along with Luther and his jug band, we're bringing out Millard Fribble and his swing-a-latin musical songs.
We'll put one of them out by the cement pond, the other one out front. That way, either door the folks come out, they're covered.
Hello? Yes, this is J.D. Clampett's residential scholar. Society Sandy?
That's right, honey. I'm checking out a rumor that there's a coming out party for Elly May Clampett.
It ain't no rumor. It's gonna be the biggest wing-ding you ever seen. We're bringing in 2 bands from out of town, inviting everybody in the Blue Book and then some.
Sounds like you're out to get a name for yourself.
No, we're out to get a name for Elly. One with a missus in front of it. She's spending a fortune. We're gonna make the Diana Dayton's party look like a rained-out well digging.
Zappity-doo, pussycat. My head is spinning.
Then if you don't want to miss the party, you take some whorehound and honey and get right in bed. Bye.
Society Sandy sick?
I'll say, light-headed, talking goofy, and has the worst case of gravel throat I ever heard. She sounded for all the world like a man.
Good morning, Miss Hathaway.
Oh, Chief, have you seen the morning paper?
No. Is my picture in it?
It's Society Sandy's column. It says the Clampetts are having a coming-out party for Elly May.
What?
Listen, there's a coming-out party planned for the Clampett Cupcake, Elly May, that should be the Beverly Hills Basherino of the year. Papa Clampett is sparing no expense.
Call that paper. They can't print lies like that. I'll sue.
Well, Society Sandy got the story right from Granny.
Come on, we've got to get up there and stop them.
But Chief, a coming-out party for Elly May isn't such a bad idea.
It is when they spare no expense. Come on. Mr. Clampett, Granny?
This must be their idea of a coming-out party. Oh, Chief, it's worse than I thought.
Yeah, they must have spent 10 or 20 bucks on crepe paper alone.
I was thinking of the Clampetts' feelings.
We'll think of a reason why nobody shows up.
Chief, after a mention in Society Sandy's column, every matron in Beverly Hills will give the mink coat off her poodle's back to come.
You think so?
I know so, that they'll be expecting champagne, roses, white tie, and tails. It's an exquisitely beautiful, elegant affair.
Well, thank you, Miss Jane. We done the best we could.
They'll be talking about this party for a long time.
I sure hope so. Well, come on, say hello to Granny. She's out in the kitchen whooping up the party victuals.
She's already started cooking?
Has been for 48 hours. She sleeps standing up, leaning against the cupboard with a ladle in her hand.
My goodness.
Yeah, she says she's going to make this a bigger coming-out party than the one Elsie Suggins had back home.
A coming-out party back in the hills?
Well, in a manner of speaking, Elsie gave it for her boy Moonshine when he got out of jail. Granny, look who's here.
Hello, Granny.
How are you, Granny?
Good to see you. But don't get no ideas you're gonna help out. Everything's been taken care of. The plans has been made, and the cooking is on the way.
Granny, you're dead on your feet. You need some sleep.
Sleep, there'll be plenty of time for that after Elly's wedding.
Wedding?
Yes. Out here, a coming-out party can get a gal married quicker than a shotgun could back home.
Well, I don't know about that, but I thought it'd be a good way for Elly to meet some of the young fellas around here. Granny.
Oh, yeah, of course. That's right, of course.
Oh, howdy, Miss Drysdale, Miss Jane. Uncle Jed, the wind was blowing too much out back, so he's going to finish the invitations in here.
Those are invitations?
Yes, ma'am. For a fancy do like this, we found out they had to be hand engraved.
Come on, Bessie, can't you go no faster?
You lay off her, Jethro. She can print twice as pretty as you can.
Well, she ought to be able to. She takes twice as long.
Bessie helping you?
Well, Jethro said we'd never get done unless she did.
Yeah, Society Sandy said that we should send invites to every one of the 400 in the Blue Book.
Do you have a blue book?
Yeah. This here's one.
Jethro, this is the Beverly Hills telephone directory.
That's right. That's the only one with the blue cover.
Jethro, the blue book is another name for the social register.
Yeah. Boy, if I wasn't so doggone good at ciphering, I'd swear there was more than 400 names in here.
Come on, we've got to figure a way out of this.
Right, Chief. Goodbye, Granny, Mr. Clampett.
Goodbye.
Well, bye now. We'll see you at the party. I'll say your goodbyes to Granny.
Who got it? Where's my pot? Cover the owl burgers. Start peeling them rutabagas. Where's my pot?
Chief, I have another call wondering if you can arrange an invitation to the Clampett party. It's Prince Filippo de Ragatini.
Hello? No, I can't. Absolutely not. Goodbye.
Chief, I know you're upset, but should you have talked that way to Prince Filippo de Ragatini? After all, he's one of the biggest dry cleaners in Beverly Hills.
I'm worried about the cleaning this bank is going to take when the Clampetts get laughed out of town.
I don't know which will hurt them more. Being laughed at then or being told now they're doing everything wrong.
Well, you've got to tell them.
Absolutely not. I'll resign first.
All right, resign first, then tell them.
I couldn't.
Well, who are we going to find? Who will? Who's cold enough, callous enough, heartless enough to...
Milburn?
Margaret, we were just talking about you. Excuse us, Miss Hathaway. How are you, my sweet?
I was just reading Society Sandy's column about Elly Mae Clampett's coming out party. Everybody in the beauty salon was talking about it.
Oh, yes. Your hair does look gorgeous, dear.
Claude's beauty salon, the Poodle Pampatorium.
Your hair does look gorgeous, Claude.
Oh, stop it, Milburn.
He was having a facial.
A facial?
Yes.
Milburn, what about Elly Mae's party? Apparently the cream of Beverly Hills society is going. It's the talk of the town.
Yes, it is a wonderful opportunity for the Clampetts, but I did want to ask you if... Well, they do need social direction, and I know how good you are giving parties, and... Well, would you help them?
I'd love to.
Did you say you'd love to?
Well, I certainly can't beat them, so I might as well do everything I can to help them, fit in.
Oh, Margaret, that's wonderful.
Have Miss Hathaway tell them that I'll be over right away.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart.
We'll be going home soon, baby. And then Mumsy is going to pay a visit to the Clampetts. Now. We are going to get rid of them for good. When I get through with their party and all Beverly Hills sees what oafs they really are.
Margaret, I just talked to Mr. Clampett. I told him about your offer, and he said Granny would welcome the help with open arms.
Tell her to mind her own business. I don't need her. I don't want her around.
After all these years of doing us dirt, Miss Drysdale's offering to help us. You don't want to hurt her feelings, do you?
No, it ain't her feelings I want to hurt.
Nobody knows more about society than her, not even Society Sandy.
Yeah, she just might be able to help us. I think we ought to give her a chance.
All right, if you say so. But let her tell me one thing that I've done wrong, and I'm going to wrap this spoon around her neck.
All right, everybody, Miss Drysdale's here to lend a hand.
How do you do?
Howdy, Miss
Hi, Miss Drysdale. Now, let's make her welcome. And pulling together, we'll put on the best coming-out party ever.
I'm sure you'll never forget it. Tell me some of the things you're cooking, Granny.
I'm starting with possum sausages. What about it?
Possum sausages? How wonderful.
Huh?
The 400 will love them. What else are you serving?
Filet.
Filet mignon?
Filet gumbo.
Good.
Full of whole crawdads, big chunks of catfish, and mudsucker.
Oh, my taste buds are doing a tango. Society will be mad about them. And what party preparations are these?
We're hand-engraving party invites.
Hand and grab. These are the invitations?
Yeah, we's all doing it. Bessie, too.
You have a monkey writing invitations? I never heard of one so smart.
I don't know why everybody makes such a big fuss over that ape. She's only copying what I put in front of her. You take this away from her, she can barely write her own name.
These are the invitations you're sending out.
Yeah, to everybody in the blue book.
This is the blue book? You only want the elite at your party. Why don't you let me take care of inviting the guests?
Swell. You can take over right there at Porky's Pizza Parlor.
Don't worry. I'll make sure the right people come.
Now, you see, Granny, she's being a help. Why, you might even have a chance to get some sleep before the party. Of course, I know you ain't the least bit sleepy. Are you, Granny? Granny?
Good morning, Miss Hathaway. All ready for the big party tonight?
I'm ready, but are the Clampetts?
I'll check a little later. Margaret's up there right now attending to the final details, and she's personally invited all the right people.
Yes, but Chief, what about the hand-engraved invitations to everybody in the phone book?
Margaret took care of that. She told Jethro she'd bring them back here to mail, and she did, in the incinerator.
Chief, that's so sly and devious.
Yes. Isn't she wonderful?
Good morning, Mr. Clampett. We all ready for our party?
Well, we was, Miss Drysdale, but I'm afraid I got a piece of bad news. This here telegram's from Millard Fribble.
Millard Fribble?
Yeah, you remember him. He's a fellow with swing-a-latin musical saw.
Oh, yes. Perfect for a coming-out party. When are they arriving?
Well, that's just it. They ain't.
They ain't? They aren't?
No, you see, they took an offer to play at the Buzz River Hog and Steer Auction.
They're giving up a trip to Beverly Hills for that?
Well, it is a showcase.
I see. But you still got that Luther somebody and his Ozark Jug band.
Oh, Luther Gooch phoned to cancel, too. It seems they needed some new jugs to toot on. So they had a party, and now they got the jugs, but nobody's sober enough to play them.
What a shame.
Don't worry, we got plenty of records to play on the phonograph. You know, bluegrass, barn dance, things like that.
Well, as long as you have country music, it's a high society favorite.
Well, you got the outside decorated all right?
Oh, you've done a fabulous job. Of course, a few more corn shucks would be nice.
Well, that's fine with me, as long as your friends wouldn't feel it was too show-off.
Jed? Oh, Miss Drysdale. I was calling Jed to come see the coming-out dress that you bought for Elly. Come on in.
That sure was nice of you, Miss Drysdale, buying that dress, fixing Elly's hair and all.
Come on down, Elly.
Oh, she's just perfect.
She looks just like Gertrude Lovely in the Star-Spangled Vagabond.
Ain't it a little bit flashy?
The way a girl looks at her coming-out party is all important, dictated by tradition.
You want to do everything just right.
And you have. From these decorations to having Bessie the chimp parking the cars.
All right, honey, you can change back now. Now, we just wear our regular Sunday go-to-meeting clothes, huh?
That's right. And Mr. Clampett, the big tie with the flower.
I didn't know you was fond of it.
Oh, yes. Well, everything seems to be in order, so I'll be running along. If you need any more help before the party, just call me.
Yeah, thank you, Miss Drysdale.
Yes, thanks, honey. You've been awful sweet.
It was my pleasure. I just want to be sure that Beverly Hills society gets the proper impression.
I don't care about that. Just so Elly gets the proper fella.
I can't get over how she's helped us with this coming-out party.
Sweet as sugar. Ain't tried to change one thing that we done. And do you know, it was her suggested bobbing for apples and having a sack race.
Just goes to show you that when it comes to having a good time, folks is folks. Either high society or a bunch of stump jumpers like us. Wonder who that is.
She double-crossed me. She hasn't changed a thing.
Oh, hi, Mr. Drysdale, Miss Jane.
Just couldn't wait till tonight, huh?
Really looks nice, don't it? Well, your wife's ought to need a few more corn shucks around.
She's been nice as pie to us. Even bought Elly a beautiful red dress and...
Red?
all covered with fringe and spangles and such. Says all coming out gals wears them.
Of course, everybody else just wears Sunday go to meeting.
Don't worry about splashing gopher gravy on your good clothes. We've given everybody their own bib.
Drive back to the office, Miss Hathaway.
But, Chief,
Drive.
Excitement just too much for him, huh?
yes, that's it.
Well, see you tonight.
Come early, stay late.
Bye.
Just wait till I get my hands on Margaret. Look at this guest list. Everybody from Society Sandy to Phil the dry cleaner.
Prince Filippo to Ragatini.
Either way, they're all going to think the Clampetts are a bunch of hicks. Why, these social lions will eat them alive.
Well, it looks as though your wife has won. The party's tonight.
We've got to do something. Elly Mae's coming out will look like a masquerade ball.
Chief, that's it. Give me the guest list and let's start phoning.
What are you talking about?
A society first. A masquerade coming out party.
All right, but it better work, or there's going to be a giant going-away party. For the Clampetts' money, my wife, and you.
Well, Chief, it worked. Society's having a wonderful masquerade party.
Yes. But I hope nobody tells Mr. Clampett he won first prize for the best costume.
Never find out what we did. By the way, where's your wife?
At home, she couldn't make it.
Oh, really? What happened?
I locked her in the closet.
Well, Granny, they all seem to be having a high old time. Mr. Drysdale says the cream of society is here.
Well, if this is the cream, I'd hate to see the skim milk. Look at them. They're all a bunch of goofs.
They do seem to dress them mighty peculiar, don't they?
Peculiar. Did you see that goomer wearing a sheet and a bunch of leaves in his hair?
Leaves? I thought that was a bird's nest. It ain't so much they're dressing funny, but have you talked to any of them? I asked that fella dancing with Elly who he was, and he said Napoleon.
Well, you can't blame them for acting strange, as sick as they are.
What you mean?
Miss Drysdale said everyone on the guest list was a blue blood.
Mr. Clampett, Granny, I want you to meet Society Sandy.
Well, howdy there.
How's your sore throat, honey?
I beg your pardon?
Just can't shake it, huh?
You pussycats have really done it. You know, these tootsies have danced at a lot of coming-out parties, but this one beats them all. It's the most original and inventive I've ever seen.
Well, thank you, but by rights, the credit belongs to you and our dear friend, Miss Drysdale.
Well, it's a great party, and you have a lovely daughter. And I hope I see a lot of you in the future.
Well, Mr. Lady Killer, you sure set Miss Society Sandy on her ear.
What you talking about?
Well, she seemed quite anxious to get to know you better. I mean, she ain't gonna have that sore throat forever.
Forget it, Granny. It don't bother me that she ain't too pretty in the face and dresses funny and totes a stick with a ribbon on it. But I just don't think I could warm up to a woman that smokes a cigar.
Time to say goodbye to Jed and all his kin. They would like to thank you folks for kindly dropping in. You're all invited back next week to this locality to have a heaping helping of their hospitality. Hillbilly, that is. Set a spell. Take your shoes off. Y'all come back now. Here?
This has been a Filmways presentation.